as everyone knows, the geopolitical tension is rising. It's a changing world that we are living in. Of course, all of us that will be gathering here wants Europe and the European Union to play a crucial role also in that new world. And if we step up and stick together, we can actually also shape the future and not only be shaped by it. So we would like to have a common discussion on how to position the European Union as wisely and strong as possible going forward. So I'll be very much looking forward to these days here in Copenhagen with all my colleagues.
Commission President Ursula von der Leyen brought up in her State of the Union speech further use of frozen assets, Russian frozen assets. What further use would you support of those assets?
Well, let me first of all say that securing the necessary funding for Ukraine is a top priority for the Danish presidency throughout the remainder of the year. It's very important that we stick with Ukraine. Their fight for freedom is also our fight for freedom. We have been discussing already on our meeting at the ECOFIN in July how to move forward in this topic. We will not be discussing that during the weekend here in Copenhagen, but hope to return to that issue and have a broad discussion on the possibilities very soon.
Very soon means when? How fast needs that to happen?
Well, hopefully already at the ECOFIN in October, but I can't say for sure. But that would be my hope, that we can advance the question as much as possible. It's really an important discussion.
Is there an increasing appetite to issue joint debt for European Defence Fund in the light of the drones that have entered NATO territory, the Russian drones?
Well, now we're already implementing the SAFE instrument, and I think it's important to see how that goes and get that off to a good start. So let's have a focus on that.
But what's the Danish position on issuing joint debt in this instance?
Well, we supported the SAFE instrument. We thought it's very important to get that over the finish line very quick, and the Polish presidency did a fabulous work on that. And I think that that's a really good start, and we'll have to see what's the interest for that and how does it actually, how many member states would be interested and how will it go from there. So we'll follow closely.
Minister, the Commission might present the 19th sanction package against Russia today. What's your take on it? What's your expectations?
I cannot comment on that for now. Sorry.
Minister, this week was the one-year anniversary for the Draghi report, and Mr. Draghi himself came out and gave a speech. There's also been a number out saying that only 11% of his recommendations have been implemented. Is that good enough for you? Are you happy with that result?
Well, I'm not happy as long as there is still a huge potential for the European Union to increase our competitiveness and our productivity, among other things, by implementing the recommendation of the Draghi report. So I would also like there to be even more focus on that, and that's also why competitiveness is a topic throughout the sessions here, both a discussion of burden reductions, but also a discussion of the national structural reforms, which are also crucial. So no, I don't think things are moving as quick as they could, but we all have a responsibility across member states to make sure that the relevant agendas advance as fast as they can.
What will be your message today to your colleagues on the Draghi agenda?
Well, the Draghi agenda is a broad one. Today, what we will be discussing is burden reductions. I think one of the crucial points of the Draghi report were that there are indeed very much red tape, bureaucracy, burdens on European companies stemming from European regulation, and we need to make sure that the burdens are being reduced. That's what the omnibuses do. And my point would then be, let's also make sure that we do things right the first time going forward, have this close view, and indeed have an overview of the burdens on the way from EU regulations in the future. And my message to my colleagues will be that we do indeed have a problem with not having an overview, and we need to step up in ensuring that there is the right balance between benefits and costs on future EU regulation.
Minister, you invited Chancellor Reeves, Minister Champagne of Canada. This is the G7 minus America. Is there a need and an opportunity to have closer trade ties in the face of aggressive trade policy from the US?
Yeah, in general, I think it's important to remember that free trade has always been a source of wealth and prosperity, has brought enormous benefits also to us in Europe. And of course, in the light of the recent trade tensions, it's obvious that the European Union should explore possibilities of closer ties with other parts of the world, as we are doing on a number of occasions. Any other questions? Great. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Just to say a few words about the Eurogroup agenda today. It's great to be here in Copenhagen, and I want to thank Stephanie and all of our Danish hosts for the welcome that they are giving us. The Eurogroup today will be focusing on three main areas. The first one is I will be presenting the new Eurogroup work plan, which will take us up to the middle of next year. And that will be looking at the areas of work for the Eurogroup. The particular areas of further focus first will be with regard to the competitiveness of the euro area and the continuing budget stability of the euro area and the work that we are doing to support that. Second area of focus for the Eurogroup meeting today will be with regard to the digital euro. This is a project, the urgency of which is now growing, and we have had an awful lot of work underway in the first half of this year, which we're aiming to conclude today, with regard to how the digital euro would be launched and how decisions with regard to holding limits would be made. And I hope we're going to see a broad basis for moving forward that will then allow our Danish friends to continue with their legislative work on this. And then finally, we will be having a discussion on the economic situation here within the euro area. And what we have seen is continued growth on average in the euro area in the first half of this year, albeit growth at a lower level than other parts of the world. But thankfully, we continue to see very high levels of employment, and we continue to see a process of disinflation that is underway. And we'll be looking at the work that we need to do to continue with that progress for the rest of this year and into next year, which is why our work on the digital euro and the work programme of the Eurogroup is important.
Ask you about there's been lots of talks about frozen assets, further usage of them. Why is there such cautiousness? What's your take on that? What would you support in further use of frozen assets?
So firstly, we've already made a lot of progress in relation to how gains from immobilised assets can be used due to the work that happened with the ERA loans over the last year. What we are now doing, and this work is happening also within the G7, is looking at further steps regarding those assets. And there is, I believe, important and good discussions underway with regard to it. Europe has been at the forefront in finding ways in which we can support the economy, the people and the security of Ukraine, and we want to look at further ways in which we can do that. Okay, I'll just get one more and then I've got to head off.
Same topic. What can be done beyond windfall profits without hurting the confidence in Europe as a financial market?
So those discussions are underway at the moment, and I'll simply emphasise that we are well aware of the need to maintain confidence within the euro and the euro area, and well aware of the importance of that being considered with regard to immobilised assets. That was recognised in decisions that were made regarding the ERA loans, and in the engagement that I'm seeing taking place on that at the moment, I think that continues to be well understood, and I would say very good cooperation and good discussions are underway with regard to it. Okay, see you later on. Bye-bye.
Bonjour monsieur, bonjour madame. Good morning. ¿Dónde están?
Okay, good morning.
Is this one? Yes. Okay, thank you. Hi. Good morning. Should I look at that camera? Okay, perfect. So good morning. I'm Nadia Calviño, President of the European Investment Bank, and I am delighted to attend this informal ECOFIN hosted by the Danish presidency. I will have the opportunity to share with fellow ministers my views on two very important issues. First of all, on simplification. The Danish presidency has got it right by focusing on simplification. This is not just a word. We're talking about very important costs for our public administrations and also for private companies, small and large, throughout the whole EU. According to our own survey, with 12,000 companies across the 27 member states, actually bureaucracy is a burden on companies which amounts to 1.8% of their cost. For small and medium-sized companies, it raises to 2.5% of their cost. And just by way of comparison, the energy cost is around 4% of the cost of companies in Europe, just to give you a sense of proportion. It means that there is a great opportunity in reducing red tape and simplifying the rules in order to increase the competitiveness of European companies. And from the European Investment Bank, we are working very closely with the European Commission and other European and national institutions to simplify our rules, simplify reporting standards, and also to simplify our processes inside the whole European Investment Bank. Actually, for the flagship initiatives in the area of security and defence, and also for venture debt and venture capital for very innovative scale-ups and technological innovators, we have a target of 6 months from the first time that a project is presented to the EIB to the time of signature of the lending contract or the guarantee or the capital investment in the company. So we're walking the talk. We're ensuring that European companies can have access to capital and that we reduce bureaucracy and red tape to the benefit of Europe's competitiveness. Secondly, I will be able to also discuss with ministers and update them on the important progress we're making in stepping up our finance for Europe's security and defence capabilities. We have doubled our finance last year. We will triple it this year, 2025, so that 3.5 of our total financing, and that is 3.5 billion euros, will be devoted to security and defence capabilities in Europe. We're talking about large strategic infrastructures. For example, the upgrading of the port of Esbjerg here in Denmark so that NATO vessels can access the port. We're talking about research programs. For example, this week we have signed a 450 million euro deal with Thales, the French large contractor in the area of security and defence, so that they can finance research and development in the coming years. Thirdly, we are providing financing for small and medium-sized companies in Europe. We have signed already agreements with Deutsche Bank and with Banque Populaire, Caisse d'Épargne, so that they can provide financing to Europe's small and medium-sized companies in the value chain, in the supply chain of large contractors. We are also, and I hope that very soon we will be able to also sign an agreement with the Danish bank. Fourth area of activity is supporting industrial capabilities, including the building of drones in the European Union. And finally, we are also investing in the capital of innovative companies through private investment funds. This week we have signed also the first ever investment in a private credit company devoted precisely to providing finance in the area of security and defence. In a nutshell, just to wrap up, to say I will be sharing all these pieces of information and exchanging views with the ministers, and I am looking forward to a very productive informal ECOFIN meeting here in Denmark.
Madam Calviño, one question about there's lots of talks about the further usage of frozen assets. What's your point of view? How can this be supported?
It is not my job and my role currently, since I'm no longer a minister or vice president, as was the case in the past, to express views on these kind of proposals. Let me just say that from the EIB, we are a very close partner of Ukraine, and very recently we have signed a very important deal, 300 million euros in finance, so that Ukraine can replenish its gas storage for the winter. Every second week there is a project in Ukraine that's being inaugurated or a deal signed to support the country, to reinforce its resilience. And this means hospitals, schools, kindergartens, train infrastructures. Only a couple of weeks ago, the first ever railway infrastructure according to European standards was inaugurated. It is about gas storage and energy resilience. We are committed and we have an unwavering support for Ukraine, and we will stand by Ukraine in the coming weeks, continuing this momentum and this very good rhythm that we have reached in terms of deployment of finance and projects implemented on the ground. Thank you. Thanks.
Good morning. I very much look forward to these rewarding discussions today, for instance, on simplification of financial regulation, reducing complexity in EU legislation in general, structural reforms, etc. These are all very much needed in order to improve our productivity and competitiveness, and also economic performance in general. And I think that in the current geopolitical and security situation, these are even more relevant. For instance, good economic performance and sound public finances, sustainability, they are very much needed in our overall security and also to boost national and economic defense.
We're meeting here in the beautiful city of Copenhagen for the informal ECOFIN and the Eurogroup summit to discuss the full scope of issues, from the introduction of the digital euro to the economic implications of geopolitical events. We're also meeting 1 year after the publication of the Draghi report. And if there is a lesson to be learned from it, is that we should raise our level of ambition. We should try to achieve more than just eliminate barriers that exist between the member states of the European Union, between our economies. We should also try to pool resources in strategic sectors, in digital infrastructure such as telecom, but also to streamline, to modernize procurement in areas such as AI, cybersecurity, the green transition. We should not just try to have an economy that manages risks. We should try to have an economy that fosters innovation and facilitates growth in 21st century terms. And this is fully achievable.
Hello, good morning. Very happy to be here in Copenhagen today. I think that this week marks 1 year since Mario Draghi's report, and the message at that time was actually very clear. Europe cannot afford complacency, and if you look at today, then you see that that message is even more urgent than ever, and that we actually delivered too little in the last year. And so it will be important that we will unite, and it's also an important role that the Eurogroup will have in the coming period. Today there is too much competence between member states. We need to unite as a bloc in the world, because it affects us economically. It also affects us a lot politically. And in these uncertain times, this is actually unacceptable. So it's important that we act united. We know that, for example, if you look to the investments that are needed to close that competitiveness gap, it's I think 750 billion according to a study. Then it's actually important that we take steps, that we, for example, of course, cut the red tape, that we also look at closing and then finally having that capital markets union, also mobilize and unlock private capital. And the file that is today on the agenda of the Eurogroup, the digital euro, is also such a strategic project where we need to act as one Eurozone, because it's important and it's embedded in a single market, in a strong single market, because that will be important to scale up, to actually have the possibility to innovate, to invest, to also compete against globally, and also, of course, to protect our welfare states that actually define Europe. So it's up to the Eurogroup to deliver. I think that we have the responsibility. We also have the tools. And it's now too important that we act as one. I'm pretty sure that with the work program that is now on the table that we will be able to deliver.
There's a question on frozen Russian assets. What further usage would Belgium support and how fast should that go?
Well, you know that there is a proposal now on the table. We heard the announcement of President von der Leyen, although I should say that the proposal is for the moment rather vague. And of course, you know that our position as Belgium is actually pretty coherent since the beginning. It's not possible to confiscate sovereign assets. It's also important that the risks that you have will be shared among all member states. So this is important for us. And if I look to what is currently on the table, I think that there are still a lot of uncertainties and also a lot of risks. So I'm a little bit, I'm not quite sure, a little bit skeptical of what the proposal is currently that is on the table.
From your point of view, what could be done without harming the confidence in the European financial marketplace?
Well, I think that, and that's also have been our position since a long time, that we need to look to that financial stability that is important, that we will be able to share the risks, and that we find a way and a framework in which scheme in which these risks will be shared among the different member states and with the G7 countries.
What kind of guarantees? Is it monetary guarantees for any liabilities that European and Belgium will be on the hook for?
Well, I think that that's pretty clear that there are, with the proposal that is on the table, could be on the table where we don't have any technical details yet, that there are some legally issues, that there are legal issues, that you also have, of course, the financial risks that are related to it, and we need to have legally binding certainty that we can overcome this kind of risks.
So the digital euro, can you explain what are the risks associated with the current US-led payment system?
Well, I think that the digital euro for us is a strategic project, where we also need to advance. There's a lot of technical work that is already done. Of course, we also need now to take the political decisions on that. I'm convinced that if we can bring that digital euro to a good end, that it will also be an asset for Europe and for the Eurozone.
But why is it needed?
Well, I think that it's needed if you look to, of course, that other continents are also having that role, and also that Europe, we of course have our cash money and the euro, but it's also necessary that a digital coin, the digital euro, will be there in a world where, of course, also the euro needs to play an important role. Thank you very much.
Guten Morgen. Ja, also ich freue mich, dass wir hier neuerlich die Gelegenheit haben, an einem starken Europa zu arbeiten. Das ist der Sinn auch dieses informellen Ecofins. Gerade in so unsicheren Zeiten, weltpolitisch und weltökonomisch, ist entscheidend, dass Europa gestärkt wird. Wir haben aus unserer Sicht dazu auch allen Anlass, selbstbewusst in diese Frage hineinzugehen. 80% der in der EU erzeugten Güter und Dienstleistungen werden wieder im EU-Binnenmarkt verbraucht. Also es ist einer der stärksten und attraktivsten Wirtschafts- und Sozialmodelle in der Welt, und wir müssen es weiter stärken. Der wichtigste Handelspartner Europas ist Europa, und das heißt, wir können unabhängiger werden von allen Unwägbarkeiten, die in der Welt passieren, wenn wir auf ein starkes Europa setzen. Aus meiner Sicht ist das entlang des Draghi-Berichts in zwei Bereichen zu diskutieren. Zum einen die Stärkung des Binnenmarktes, weitere Vertiefung des Binnenmarktes. Wir haben in Österreich hier ein besonderes Anliegen, das ich heute auch noch einmal vorbringen werde, nämlich diese territorialen Lieferbeschränkungen, die für kleine Länder höhere Preise bedeuten. Internationale Markenartikelkonzerne verlangen in kleineren Ländern höhere Preise als in großen Ländern. Das wirkt wie eine Art Zoll für kleine Länder, und wir sind ganz stark darauf ausgerichtet, das wegzubringen. Das wäre eine Vertiefung des Binnenmarktes, in vielen anderen Bereichen auch notwendig, Bankenunion, Kapitalmarktunion. Und das Zweite ist, wenn wir Europa stärken wollen wirtschaftlich, müssen wir investieren. Gegen die Klimakrise vor allem, also bessere Energienetze, bessere Mobilität über ganz Europa. Und hier wird es wohl auch stark darum gehen, wie wir das mittelfristig finanzieren können im Rahmen des neuen EU-Budgets, das dann 2028 kommen soll.
Eine Frage zur Unterstützung der Ukraine. Es wird wieder darüber gesprochen, wie man eben die Windfall Profits, die Frozen Assets, weiter nutzen kann, um die Ukraine zu unterstützen. Welche Art der weiteren Nutzung würden Sie befürworten?
Ja, wir sind hier sehr aufgeschlossen, weil Europa an der Seite der Ukraine stehen muss. Wir müssen das Opfer unterstützen und versuchen, den Aggressor möglichst einzudämmen. Da können diese Frozen Assets eine gewisse Rolle spielen. Für uns ist wichtig, dass sie im gesetzlichen Rahmen, das sozusagen vorliegt, dass hier Fortschritte erzielt werden. Wir warten da auch auf die Vorschläge der Kommission, die wir heute wohl informell zumindest diskutieren werden. Aber wir sind bereit, hier weitere Schritte nach vorne zu gehen.
Heute kommen die Vorschläge von der...
Wir werden, der informelle ECOFIN ist ja immer dazu geeignet, Informationen auszutauschen, die nicht unmittelbar in Beschlüssen enden müssen. Aber hier wird das Terrain aufbereitet und diese informellen Diskussionen sind entscheidend, um dann bei den nächsten Sitzungen Dinge konkret zu machen und umzusetzen.
Muss das jetzt alles ein wenig an Fahrt gewinnen?
Insgesamt muss Europa an Fahrt gewinnen, denn in einer Phase, wo die Unsicherheit so groß ist weltweit und wo die Demokratievielfach, das Sozialmodell unter Druck stehen, müssen wir schauen, dass wir Europa stärken. Wir haben die besten Voraussetzungen, aber unsere Schwäche in Europa ist, dass alles relativ lange dauert, bis wir durch die Entscheidungsprozesse durchkommen. Das sichert auf der einen Seite, dass gute Entscheidungen getroffen werden, wenn sie lang diskutiert werden, aber es ist jetzt besonders wichtig, rasch voranzukommen und deshalb sind wir in allen Bereichen dafür, sehr konzentriert, zielorientiert zu diskutieren und möglichst rasch Entscheidungen zu treffen.
Stichwort rasch. Das 19. Sanktionspaket soll heute womöglich, oder das Proposal soll heute vorliegen. Geht es schnell genug? Ist das hart genug? Wie wird es Russland treffen?
Die Europäische Kommission hat hier eine Reihe von Vorschlägen vorgelegt, insbesondere im Kryptobereich, Bankenbereich, Energiebereich. Also hier liegt, glaube ich, sehr viel vor und ich glaube, dass wir hier auch rasch vorankommen können. Es ist ja eine gewisse Übung. Wenn es das 19. Sanktionenpaket ist, heißt das, es sind 18 Pakete vorher geknüpft worden und in dem Sinn haben wir hier schon erheblichen Fortschritt, der auch notwendig ist.
Vielen Dank.
Gerne.
Hello, good morning everyone. I will start in French, then I will speak in English. Donc du côté du Parlement européen, ce qu'on va demander aujourd'hui, c'est deux choses. Est-ce qu'on va changer de stratégie vis-à-vis des États-Unis, étant donné que le deal que nous avons est relativement critiqué au sein du Parlement européen? Est-ce qu'on va aller vers une digital tax ou quelque chose de ce type? Le second point, c'est sur l'implémentation du rapport Draghi. Le rapport Draghi, c'est sur l'investissement, l'investissement, l'investissement. Or, nous, on a pris à bord finalement uniquement la partie sur la simplification. Donc, le Parlement européen va demander de prendre en compte l'entièreté du rapport Draghi qui a lui-même exprimé sa déception sur la façon dont a été finalement mis en œuvre partiellement son rapport. So 2 points from the European Parliament side. First point is that we will ask for the full implementation of the Draghi report. The Draghi report was about invest, invest, invest and simplify, and we only took on board the simplification part, so we want also the investment part of the Draghi report. And regarding the trade, the deal with the US, I have to say that a large part of the European Parliament is concerned, worried, and we are wondering if the European Commission is going to change its strategy toward the US. Thank you.
Good morning. Looking forward for today's Eurogroup and ECOFIN meetings. Obviously, it's busy end of the year ahead of us, so many things moving right now. So looking forward for intense work and good exchanges today. As regards Eurogroup, we'll be discussing the Commission's work program, the Eurogroup's work program for 2026, and I would say it's broadly outlined also with the main priorities as regards Commission's work on strengthening the resilience and competitiveness of European economy, and having a particular focus on a digital euro, where we'll continue the work, and where from Commission side we think it's indeed important that we accelerate the work, we reach agreement in the Council, and we are able to finalize this legislative work. And there I welcome the fact that the Danish presidency is indeed also prioritizing this work stream. Thank you.
You have proposed, the Commission has proposed the reparations loan using the cash balances of Euroclear. When can we expect a proposal, and for what amount, and will it be open to other partners?
First of all, indeed. So what the Commission is proposing is a reparations loan, so basically providing loan to Ukraine by using cash balances of immobilized Russian assets, without, in a sense, touching Russia's claim on those assets. So we will start discussions on those topics, even though we are not expecting detailed discussions on this today. So in a Commission we are right now working on all the modalities, on timings, on volumes. For volumes, it will be important for us also to see the IMF assessment on the financing needs for Ukraine over the next 2 years, and IMF is currently finalizing this work. And as regards other countries, indeed, we see this model as replicable among other G7 members, which also have immobilized Russian assets in their territory. And actually, I had raised this topic also during the previous G7 finance ministers meeting.
Commissioner, why does Europe need a digital euro?
Well, first of all, it's clear that the economy is becoming more and more digital. So the question is, what is the role of central bank money in this digital economy? Currently, the central bank money is cash, and the use of cash is declining. So, therefore, digital euro is a means to bring central bank money into the 21st century. And in case of Europe and Eurozone, it's important also to strengthen Europe's strategic autonomy, to not having to rely on foreign payment schemes, having a proper European, pan-European payment schemes, which then ECB can provide the basic architecture on which the private sector then can build the necessary solutions. So we see it as an important project, both in terms of technological developments, but also in terms of EU strategic autonomy.
But what's wrong with the current US-led system? It's working fine, isn't it?
Well, as I was saying, the question here is about European strategic autonomy on having our own proper European systems.
Commissioner, one question on the Russian assets. For an audience that is not familiar with all the technical terms, what is planned beyond using the windfall profits?
Well, the reparation loan exactly foresees already to use the cash balances linked with Russian immobilized assets to provide these reparation loans to Ukraine. So Ukraine will only have to repay this loan once Russia would pay reparations to Ukraine, because that has been something which is agreed at G7 level already before, also at European Council level already before. So we are basically operationalizing this decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ja, ich darf Sie alle ganz herzlich begrüßen. Ich freue mich jetzt auf den informellen ECOFIN hier in Kopenhagen. Ich freue mich, die Kolleginnen und Kollegen zu sehen. Was das wichtigste Thema in den nächsten 2 Tagen wird, ist die wirtschaftliche Leistungsfähigkeit Europas und des Euroraums. Wir sind in einer Schwächephase und deswegen geht es darum, jetzt verschiedene Maßnahmen zu ergreifen, um Europa wirtschaftlich wieder stärker zu machen, Arbeitsplätze zu sichern. Das Wichtigste ist, dass wir jetzt schnell zu einer Einigung im Zollstreit mit den USA kommen. Da gibt es offene Punkte, die jetzt geklärt werden müssen. Der zweite Punkt knüpft an dem, was die dänische Ratspräsidentschaft auch zum Schwerpunkt ernannt hat, dass wir uns um Bürokratieabbau kümmern, um Fragen, wie wir Wachstum auch in Europa wieder stärker erreichen können. Das hat also meine volle Unterstützung, dass das jetzt Schwerpunkt auch der dänischen Ratspräsidentschaft wird. Und wir werden heute mit den Beratungen auch darüber anfangen, wie wir Europa entbürokratisieren können. Und der dritte Punkt ist die europäische Souveränität. Es geht um ein stärkeres europäisches Selbstbewusstsein auch. Und das können wir mit einzelnen Maßnahmen auch im finanzpolitischen Bereich auf den Weg bringen. Für mich ist es ein wichtiges Anliegen, dass wir mit der Kapitalmarktunion vorankommen, dass wir auch beim digitalen Euro jetzt einen konkreten Zeitplan verabreden. Ich möchte dort gerne Lösungen bis zum Ende des Jahres haben. Und die Notwendigkeit, dass wir in Europa eigenständige Lösungen haben, hat sich auch gerade in den vergangenen Monaten noch mal gezeigt, wenn es Probleme mit anderen Finanzdienstleistern gibt. Also hier müssen wir auf europäische Lösungen setzen. Und das sind 3 Elemente, wie wir die wirtschaftliche Stärke in Europa voranbringen. Und natürlich wird es auch darum gehen, wie wir den Druck auf Russland hochhalten können, ihn weiter erhöhen können. Wir sind in Deutschland der größte europäische Unterstützer der Ukraine. Dieser Weg wird weitergehen. Aber es ist eben auch wichtig, dass wir den Druck auf Russland hochfahren. Wir arbeiten an dem 19. Sanktionspaket. Und Auch das wird hier sicherlich am Rande, auch in den Sitzungen, viel Zeit einnehmen, dass wir gemeinsam noch mal beraten, wie wir den Impuls auch aus den G7 aufnehmen können, den Druck auf Russland hochzuhalten.
Herr Minister, eine Frage zu den eingefrorenen russischen Geldern. Da war bisher die deutsche Position an die Zinsgewinne, da kann man rangehen, bei einem anderen eher skeptisch. Was ist jetzt anders und gerne auch in Worten, die für ein nicht technisches Publikum verständlich sind, dass das für Deutschland eher akzeptabel erscheint?
Wir haben deutlich gemacht im Koalitionsvertrag, dass wir bereit sind, auch darüber zu reden, bei all den juristischen Schwierigkeiten, die es gibt, wie man die russischen Gelder noch intensiver nutzen kann, um der Ukraine zu helfen und sie zu unterstützen. Es gibt dort einen finanziellen Bedarf. Wir wollen unserer Verantwortung für die Ukraine nachkommen. Nur ich sage Ihnen auch, alles muss genau geprüft werden und wir warten jetzt erstmal sehr konkret auf die Vorschläge durch die Europäische Kommission. Aber Deutschland wird eine Rolle einnehmen, bei der wir Dinge möglich machen wollen und nicht bei der wir Dinge blockieren.
Aber können Sie andeuten, was anders wäre als
Ich warte jetzt wirklich konkret auf den Vorschlag. Ich habe Dinge gehört, aber ich gehöre zu denen, die gerne erstmal schwarz auf weiß lesen, was die Kommission dort vorschlägt. Und nochmal, dann werden wir mit einer Haltung in die Diskussion reingehen, dass wir sehr genau prüfen, was man dort möglich machen kann und nicht, was man verhindern kann.
Herr Minister, eine Frage zu Frankreich. Machen Sie sich Sorgen um die Stabilität in der Eurozone?
Nein, ich gucke natürlich sehr genau, was in Frankreich passiert, auch durch die Freundschaft mit Eric Lombard. Sie wissen, dass wir in der Bundesregierung sehr intensiv darauf setzen, das deutsch-französische Verhältnis wieder zu verbessern. Deutschland und Frankreich wirklich zur Achse auch der europäischen Einigung und der europäischen Veränderung zu machen. Deswegen gucken wir mit Sorge drauf, aber es gibt keinerlei Anzeichen dafür, dass die politischen Herausforderungen in Frankreich gerade den Euroraum gefährden.
You coordinated with your fellow G7 finance ministers on further sanctions on Russia. However, how do you feel about U.S. demands of 50 to 100% tariffs on India and China? And if it's a no, then what other kind of pressure can you put?
Wir gucken innerhalb der Europäischen Union, welche weiteren Maßnahmen wir in ein Sanktionspaket packen können. Das ist doch wichtig, dass wir da immer im Prozess sind, den Druck auf Russland zu erhöhen. Und ich habe es erstmal als positives Signal auch der Amerikaner wahrgenommen, dass sie gesagt haben, wir wollen schnell zu einer G7-Sitzung zusammenkommen. Wir wollen jetzt darüber reden, wie wir den Druck auf Russland oder auf Staaten, die Russland unterstützen, erhöhen können. Das ist ein wichtiges Signal. Aber wir haben jetzt auch verabredet, dass wir innerhalb der G7 eine gemeinsame Position abstimmen. Nicht alles, was auf Seiten der Amerikaner gut gefunden wird, müssen wir auch automatisch als Europäer gut finden. Und da wird jetzt verhandelt miteinander. Aber das Ziel, den Druck auf Russland hochzuhalten, auf Staaten, die Russland unterstützen, den Druck hochzufahren, das ist etwas, was ich als positives Signal wahrnehme, weil es ja ein Stück weit auch eine Veränderung der US-Position ist. Und da kriegen wir was Gemeinsames im Rahmen der G7 hin.
Minister, what's your stance on the digital euro? Is there a need to do anything about? Is there any flaws in the current US-led payment system?
What do you mean with flaws? Is there any?
So the digital euro.
Yeah.
What's your stance on it? Is there anything wrong with the current payment system?
Nein, wir wollen den digitalen Euro haben. Wir brauchen ihn und das will ich explizit sagen, auch um europäische Souveränität zu erreichen. Es geht um ein neues Selbstbewusstsein, das wir in Europa brauchen. Es geht darum, dass wir vorankommen, dass wir auch weltpolitisch mitspielen und dafür ist ein Zahlungssystem wie der digitale Euro ein wirklicher Meilenstein und deswegen werde ich hier mit der klaren Botschaft auch sein, dass wir zügig vorankommen müssen.
Okay, vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank.
thank you for the lovely welcome. Thank you very much. So you're having a very busy, yes? Thank you very much for your welcome. How are you today? Very good.
That's a good idea.